Boy, it's gonna get crowded on here because this one it ain't running. We took the transfer case to rebuild it. We have some problems during the rebuild part of it, so now we're waiting on more parts. I'm gonna try to figure this out. Let's push it back a little bit. Why they don't make lift brackets for this machine? They want to give you, basically, because you're already at the end of the preload, they want to put like a 3-inch piece of aluminum, and they're like, oh, that's a lift kit. No, that is not a lift kit. I mean, yes, it's going to lift the machine, the same as if you would keep preloading this, but then when the tire comes up, you just shed your up travel by 3 inches. So I'm going to jack this up and take the shock off once it's at full drop and see if that can drop more without binding the CBs, and then I can fabricate my own lift brackets instead of doing the puck. The whole puck thing it's just wrong, and I'm surprised they're doing it. But because they don't build a lift bracket, maybe what Yamaha did to give this machine more suspension travel was actually allowing to go to max bind on the CB on the factory suspension. Let's see. Also, come on Yamaha. Look at these little tiny studs. Those are for ATVs. You put them on a side-by-side. I get it's not a pure sport or anything, but come on. I have an ATV with this size studs. Anyhow, this is supposed to be on the 2024 and up. Supposed to be 2017 YXZ spindle, which interests me because let's say I want to put portals on this machine. And oh, what the hell they did here? So I have a ball joint on top on the A-arm, but on the bottom they did the ball joint on the knuckle and the stud on the A-arm. What in the Hillbilly Deluxe is going here? Alright, let's not go get into the next video yet. Let's just figure it out. So this is max drop, and yeah, I think maybe that's why they do the lift kit on here. And then you're gonna lose your up travel because this is already at a pretty severe bind. Let's say we had what this competes with, I don't know, maybe with a Kawasaki Teryx. No, I'm not talking about the RS1, even though this was more expensive than the KRX. I don't know why I say RS1. I mean, this is supposed to compete maybe with the Kawasaki, and I didn't mint the KRX. I meant the Teryx 800. This, I pay more for this than for the KRX 1000. And I'm going to hear it for the rest of my life. That is a mistake. I will live with it. But let's say we compare this to the Teryx 800. On the Teryx 800, you can actually put a 2-inch lift bracket on here. I think you can do that on the 850s, like let's say 2021 850 or 2017 850. I don't know how far back they go. They do have a lift bracket on here, but they don't have much articulation. This is a very good suspension drop. I mean, it's standing at a 12 inches of ground clearance with the axles flat. So, but I think, you know, many other brands, every other brand, I had a Rhino, I had a 800, I have Polaris Racers, RS1, XP 1000. Basically, a lot of UTVs, and they always had a bracket. This is the only model, first time I came across, and the only lift kit that they offer is basically to give you a longer preload on here, but it will limit your up travel by a lot. And I think it's because once I take the shock bolt, I'm afraid that the moment this drop more than the shock, it's just gonna bind the CB, and we're gonna find that out. Let's say on a Terex 800, you take this bolt and the axle drops like almost, sorry, this will drop like another 4 inches, and that's why they give you a 2-inch bracket kit, and you're still within the safe zone with no problem. We'll see what happened here. Okay, so took the nut out of there. If this were, let's say, a Polaris or Can-Am, would have on here different kind of bushings. The kind of bushings that basically they're free float, nothing binds, there's no energy being stored. This one is not that case. See, I'll pull this, and the problem is, it takes a lot of pressure to bring it up. It takes a lot of pressure to bring it back down. And as you can see, that's as far as it goes before, I think it's touching that piece of plastic, or is it the bind on the axle? I think I heard it binding. Yeah. Right there, and I'm a bind. Yep. So that's why they do not sell a drop bracket. Because if you were to put a drop bracket on a 2024, what the fuck is this? X2 1000 Wolverine. I don't think you can even put it. I'll press as much down as I can, and it wouldn't even allow you to it. It just, what Yamaha did on this one to give it the numbers of articulation was to basically max out the angles of the CB axles. If this was Terex 800, many other brands, I still gonna remember one time that Polaris, and I want to talk about it. And in my head, I pronounce it like if it was the Jeep. I'm like, oh, it's a Polaris Gladiator. It's not a freaking Gladiator. That's a Jeep product. Anyhow, I'll remember one day what that was called. I know what it's called. I can research it in 2 seconds and tell you what it is, but I just can't right now. Right there. Don't go further down than that. And bind right there. Right down. Fully maxed out, and then it pops up and then it goes down. So yes, this shock, it's already maxing out the suspension. So my idea of putting actually a drop bracket, so then I don't eliminate my articulation, well, that went outside the window. You just can't. You see it here. The shock uses all of its travel. So by me putting a pack here of aluminum, basically aluminum spacer, it goes underneath your preload. All that does is allow you to preload this more to make your suspension rougher and stiffer than what it needs to be. And yes, it's gonna give you some ground clearance, but then the shock, it's not gonna be able to get to the top. Every time you hit something, this suspension, instead of bottoming this out, it's just gonna collapse the spring before it hits the soft part of your bump stop. So by putting an aluminum spacer on here, a 3-inch aluminum spacer, I mean, let me grab a tape measure to give you an idea. From the bottom, right there. So you'll lose, you lose till about here. You lose this much of your shock ability to move when you put that in there. Because this spring is gonna collapse to the point that it's gonna smash all the coil and stuff. The bump stop is not gonna touch. You can probably damage the double nuts for the preload, or potentially damaging the shock. So that's sad. I need the ground clearance. Nobody makes forward A-arms for this machine, and I have not found, except for Yamaha products, I have not found another machine than Super ATV doesn't build forward A-arms for. I mean, they're building for CF Moto, for crying out loud. Is CF Moto killing Yamaha? Because let's say you buy a CF Moto, let's say, I don't know, let's say this competes with their crappy 2024, because it's a 2024 CF Moto, I think it's a 950 Sport, same side, right? 60-inch. The both come factory with 20-inch tires. If you go to Real Talk Power Sports, or you Google CF Moto on 32s, they're everywhere. They're self-forward A-arms, they're self-clutch kits. You can put a CF Moto on 32s with a clutch kit, and they are amazing.
Shot. We got the 32s, we got the clutch kit. Hey, show us how smooth it can be. Look at that, son. No jerking. Super slow, easing on it. Very smooth. MSC Stage 3 Trail clutch kit. Look at that. All right, now when you need the power, what can it do? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Golly. It's going to the pavement. Oh, snap. Oh, wait. Yes, sir. Hey, that's 32 carnivores, too. Those are normally super tacky and grippy.
And on here you have a manufacturer is being recognized, or at least it used to be recognized as a good brand. And you can't put this machine on 32s. Not right now. They don't sell portals for this one. They don't sell forward A-arms. It's sad. Very sad. Obviously, I cannot even put a lift bracket on it because they already maxed out the travel out of this thing. And my only option is going to be, because it's undrivable. Our trail systems, if you don't have 15 inches of ground clearance, you just don't even bother on going. You're just going to destroy the damn thing. So I'm going to have to screw up my suspension travel to be able to just drive it. And let me look like an idiot for reference on telling you how it will look. When your A-arms are like this, they're flat, the axles and stuff, they move up and down, doing great. When you do this to the A-arms, they don't move down anymore. They only move up a little, and then you max them out. And let's say I step up on a rock on this side, this arm is not gonna drop, it already dropped, so now I'm picking tires. It's a very crappy suspension design to put a spacer in there, but can't return it. I paid $20,000 for this, and I know That was because I was getting zero down, and as a business owner, I do not like to pay interest rates. I pay enough on taxes, trust me. I could have got it for 17, because Yamaha is doing a $3,000 rebate, something like that. I don't know. The price was cheaper, but then you're paying a 8 point something interest rate, which I didn't agree with it. And I do have perfect credit score, and still, that's kind of their Yamaha deal. So I paid 20 grand for a $17,000 machine. Then if I were to take it tomorrow to a Polaris dealership to trade it for something else. This also, you know, this the machine for my wife. I drive the Jeep, obviously. And she doesn't really like the engagement on the front locker. It doesn't engage easy. The two-wheel drive to four-wheel drive engages on the spot, works every single time. The front locker, you put it on, you move forward some, you move back some. It keeps telling you it's on limp mode until it finally engages. If you truly need it, I mean, me, yeah, I can recognize when I'm gonna need a locker, and I can lock it up before the obstacle happens. But let's say your wife, your kid, or somebody's driving this not too familiar with off-roading, and they truly need the locker, they're gonna be stuck in there for a while, or spin the tires till it finally engages, and it's not gonna engage nice, and that's gonna break the front diff. It doesn't engage as easy as other machines. I remember the Rhino engaged it like that. On the spot. You could be parked, you engage that locker, you move less than a quarter inch, and that thing engage. This has not, and I will make a video on that. It takes them a minute to actually engage. And I know it's gonna sound like I'm just talking crap about the machine. I'm just saying the truth. I don't want other people to make the same mistake as me. Right now, I'm stuck with this. I cannot change. If I were to take this $20,000 that I pay to a dealership, they'll give me probably 12. I'm not losing $8,000 in less than 3 days. I bought this 3 days ago. I did the research. It's not that I'm an idiot. Well, I am an idiot. Let's just say it like that. Save you the guys that comment. When I purchased this, I called a few places, and they told me they were selling portals. They were selling forward arms and clutch kits, so I could put on 32s. And man, if I can make this thing to fit 32s, I'll be happy with it. Currently, no. The aftermarket is not there. You're paying the same price as a KRX. Go ahead, don't even look at Yamaha. Just go ahead and go with Kawasaki. Point simple. Save your money. If you're not into speed, buy a Teryx 800. Go and then buy something that is called a mid lift kit. Is it a mid? Mid travel suspension. MT something. MTS or whatever it is. I forgot who sells it, but basically you get the same articulation, almost the same articulations out of a Teryx 800 as you get on a KRX. And for a Teryx, you're gonna pay, because that suspension works on the original Teryx, not the Teryx S. So you're gonna pay $12,000 for a brand new Teryx with a 3-year warranty, one of the best on the market. And then you're gonna spend $2,300, and this person is gonna send you some special A-arms and axles and a set of shocks, and then that thing is gonna articulate like you won't believe it, and you're gonna have 16 inches of ground clearance. I'm gonna put a little clip of that person, and that's that, and it's very impressive.
Tire too, so you can see how ridiculous this is. We've already surpassed stock suspension. We've now surpassed the stock suspension with our shocks. Still going. We passed an HCR long travel. Still going. There you go. I'm going to tap it down just a tad. There you go. Rear tires touching. 3 tires. This is absolutely ridiculous. Look at this. One of the nice things with articulation like that is, as you can tell, it's like it's climbing a big old boulder, but the machine is not wanting to tip over. Tire on the ground. Okay. Now, as you can tell, we measured. You have a tape measure on the TRX 4. In the post on our Facebook page, we have videos, everything, especially comparing it to an HCR long travel and all of that. And this here was 28.5 inches to the top of the fork. So we're going to measure to the top of the fork here, and it is 26 dead on. So that one flexed 2.5 inches higher than the KRX. Now
again, I like fighting things. I purchased these so thinking that I could get some stuff. I cannot get them. The first person that builds some forward A-arms, please reach to me. Even if it's a prototype, I'll test it, I'll try it, I'll be glad to. Because as of right now, the way the machine sits is not gonna do the trails that I have to do. So I'm gonna go ahead and buy Super ATV pucks, and now I understand why they don't sell the brackets. Totally understand. So I'm gonna give it a shitload of preload, basically, with their pucks, and that's gonna leave it like a spider, all stand up. It's not gonna articulate. It's gonna defeat the purpose of having this suspension, but that's gonna allow me to put some 30-inch tires, maybe some 31s, and what else? And be able to have some ground clearance. It's just gonna feel like you're driving, I don't know, figured it out what is the side-by-side with the least amount of suspension, and that's what it's gonna feel about it once you put that spacer on top of the coil. All right, now let me put this together. And we might check the rear, see if they do exactly the same. Okay, let's see what we have. Tape measure. 10 psi on the tires because it's a UTV, and 10 psi, that's what you want on the trail. I don't know what it says on paper, but this is what you get. 11.25. That's your ground clearance. I have a Brute Force 750 with more ground clearance than that. That's an ATV. We're gonna do the same on the rear. We're gonna pull a tire out and max the suspension. Also, I wanna see. So we have 11.25. We're gonna go 3 inches up, and then figure it out how much suspension is left out of the machine. You know, when you put the the little aluminum spacer on top of the coil. Okay. Let's see, somewhere there. 11, 11, 12, 13, 14. 14.25, that's what we're going for. It's gonna be our 3-inch mark. Almost 14. 14 and a quarter there. That's how it needs to look from the factory. Maybe a little more, right there. Yes, perfect. 14 and a quarter, right there. That's the ground clearance that I need to go into the trails without getting high center the whole entire day. Now let's see till when it starts almost picking up the tires, what's the difference. That's pretty light in there. Yeah, that's the truth. I mean, it's not picking the tire up, but that tire looks like it has 30 psi now. That is 18 3/4. So 4.5 inches of up travel. It's all you're gonna have once you put the aluminum spacers on it. That is not great because you're also gonna lose on the up travel. Not ideal. And I was going to pull the tire out and do the same and see how far they'll go down, but there's no need because I already see the lower part of the CB maxed out. Not too bad, but the upper, yeah, no, there's nothing left. I'm gonna do it anyways because you guys are watching, so might as well. Let's do it. Let's pull that and see if it has the same brightness on the front. The main reason why you cannot put the breakers, they put too long of shop to pull numbers on the internet to make sales, but we'll see. Okay, I can already tell it's probably pretty maxed out because by me holding the weight up of everything, I cannot pull the bolt. I had to pull up actually to pull the bolt. Wonder why they did it backwards and put. It would make more sense to have the bolt on this side and the nut on that side. Okay, drop the nut. It's okay, I'm not the engineer of this. And that's full max right there. And at max. Okay. I had a parking brake on. I know the machine moved. Don't worry about it. I lay underneath a much larger Jeep. Haven't that yet. Yeah, no, that's not spinning there. Is that at a bind already at max suspension drop? But it's called, I gotta go inside the house. So 85 pounds of torque. Gotta tie the wheels. Why are you moving so much? Parking brake is on. Because there's not a park gear, so there's only parking brake option. Alright, well, I'm out for the rest of the night. think tomorrow before I go to work, I'll measure the front. I just want to go home tonight. I mean, inside the house now. And then once I measure the front tomorrow, I'll be on a better mood and we'll talk about the good parts of it. So far the video has been 100% on the negative side. There is many good sides and I'm gonna talk just a little bit about those ones. Well, this is day 2. What I did last night is I purchased the lift pack. I know I'm gonna ruin the suspension travel numbers, but at least I'm gonna make the machine useful on our trails. Let's see. Don't ever measure from the front. The Yamaha bends the frame up. Once you go past the rear bushing for the A-arm, start bending up. So that front in there is another rear ground clearance. Go behind, and let's see, it's sitting at 12. So we're gonna pretend I'm putting the lift pack poke. At 3 inches, so I was at 12. So I gotta make it 15. There. That is 15. So how much down travel it's left on the front? You guys already seen it on the rear. Now we're gonna figure it out how much is left. That is perfect there, 15. That was the 3 inches of lift and that pack's gonna give me. And let's see when the tires get light. That it right there. I have 16 and a half. So I have 1.5 inches of down travel left of suspension. Let's make sure I was right. Yeah, the shocks are, actually the shocks keep going. Right there. I was wrong on that one. Okay. So it has 17 and a half. So 2.5. That tire's on the air, but whatever. Let's call it 2 inches of suspension down travel left after installing those things. That is bad. But let's talk about the, I don't know, some of the good things. Machine is, because I know I spoke shitty about the machine for the last half hour. Now let's talk good about it. The fact that it has a nice little bed, you know, for the gear, the whole, you know, cooler, camping stuff, the utility side of it, that is great. Like how narrow, nimble, and playful it is. If anything, I'm just worried or disappointed from the aftermarket part of it. You know, you buy a Terex 800, you know, I'm assuming this competes with that, and I can have it on long travel suspension, I can have it on 8-inch portals if I want, you know, you can do anything. Maybe I'll put the 1 tons out of that underneath this. That will look cool. Well, I'm gonna fight it like hell. Am I gonna get rid of it? No, I can't. 'Cause, 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 So for now, the only thing kind of available, I had to be able to use it. I'm gonna destroy the suspension basically by putting the aluminum spacer. Suspension is only gonna travel down 2 inches, so it's gonna be picking up tire all day long. Hopefully, eventually, somebody will come up with forward A-arms, so then I can get rid of the aluminum spacer and fit 32s. And I'm gonna cut those spacers halfway, so then they're gonna be just 1.5 inches. Not only that, I'm also gonna, with the 32s 1.5 inch forward A-arm, 32 will fit just fine, and I'll be right on the sweet spot, the 15 inches of ground clearance that I need. Many are gonna ask, and I don't know if I say this on the video or not, if you hate it, and I don't hate it, if you're disappointed with your purchase, why do you chose this? I had a pretty new tractor, 1626 Mahindra model 2021, I believe, and I wasn't really using it for work. I purchased it to see if I was going to get some jobs with the tractor. Weather's changing, we don't get snow on the lowlands anymore, so that was out of the question. And I'm a general contractor, I own my own business, and truly I didn't got many things doing driveways and mowing fields, nothing like that. So the tractor, after 2.5 years, it only had 35 hours. You know, all I do is floors, remodel kitchens, bathroom, roofs, all of that stuff. So basically, I had a tractor that I don't use, and I tried to trade it in just at about every single dealership on Washington. Everybody told me nope, they don't take tractors, except for one person down in Oregon, by Hillsboro, Oregon. He's like, I'll give you 15,500 was, yeah. So he gave me $15,500 for my tractor. I did owe 16, so I was, hell yeah. I'm like, I don't care what you have on the lot. I'm washing it, I'm loading it on the trailer, I'm making the 4-hour trip, I don't care. So that's what I did. And when I got there, he had one of these, a Kawasaki KRX. Don't attack me in the comments, I get it. Should have gotten that. I got 5 to 9 friends with the damn thing. Out of the box, it's pretty good. But there were reasons why we did not want to get the KRX. One was, you know, the wife really doesn't, when she sits in it, it's too wide, it's too big of a machine, doesn't like it. And the wife is gonna drive this more than me. I drive this thing. The other main reason is, understand that most people, they only carry one thing around, and that's it. I bring 2 vehicles all the time with me. So my trailer is 24 feet. This is already long enough. This is the same measurements as the old RS1 we used to have. Reason why we got rid of the RS1 was we used to have 2 RS1s. Reason why we have gotten rid of that RS1, we needed a 2-seater, period. If I would have purchased a KRX, now I need a longer trailer. Then the trailer, you know, you have all the money on upgrading the trailer. Then also my motorhome only has a towing capacity of 10,000 pounds. The trailer and the RS1 were at 9,000 pounds altogether. This is heavier than the RS1, so everything is going to be at 9,500 pounds. My trailer also has, not only the motorhome is rated at 10,000 max, my trailer is rated at 10,000 max. So if I would buy the KRX, now I need to change my motorhome, because for something on tows more than 10,000 pounds, and you know that is a super C class or a diesel pusher, and I don't have that kind of money. Then, you know, had the trailer, the room, the space, it wouldn't work. I had to change everything just to get into the KRX. Something a lot shorter and lighter than I could have purchased. If I would have sold the RS1, which I mean I did sell it, but if it wasn't because I was trying for somebody to take my tractor, what I would have purchased, if my tractor would be sold cash and I was choosing any machine, 2024 and up, Polaris Racer XP 1000. I like naturally aspirated. Most people are like, oh, I need a turbo this, a turbo that. Well, I have a crap load of trophies out of my RS1, and all I did was raise turbo people, and they never catch up with a naturally aspirated machine. I just like naturally aspirated machines for the woods, for what we do. I go to the dunes twice a year, so I can just take the dirt bike and another side by side. So that was the main reason I had to change the motorhome, the trailer. Wife doesn't like such a large vehicle. There were multiple reasons why not to get the KRX and why we end up with this. Going back to what else the dealership had, the R-Max. There was an R-Max in there. I didn't like it. Have many friends that had it. Yeah, it has more aftermarket support. Should have checked on that. The visibility on the hood is crappy. There's suspension to me is rough on the RS. A couple of my friends had them, and suspension is super rough. This is awesome. I know I'm complaining about the ground clearance, but the suspension, it is as close as a Polaris than you're gonna get. It's just, I mean, you drive it 15 miles an hour, you know, and you don't feel anything. Suspension, it's dialing great. So I love that about it. Aftermarket support on the department of enclosing the cab, that is there. We got windshields coming, back window. We'll see about the side doors. You know, light bar to everything. I can customize everything. I can build bumpers. I just need, you know, move this tire 2 inches forward. That will be amazing. Because if you look at the steering, the tie rod end. You see how it's rake back? If you look, same with the axle. The axle is, I want to say dead straight, maybe 1/4 inch back. The steering, quite a bit. It starts from here and it goes all the way in that direction. If you look at an R Max, which you clear at 30, has different type of arms, that steering is actually rake forward. And they have the same steering box, the same rack and pinion. Imagine that. So I know that it will drive just fine if you move this tire forward 1.5 to 2 inches. Why? Because again, for the R Max owners, go to your garage, take a picture of this, and you're gonna see that this tire right end, instead of being like this, it's actually right forward, not back. So what is gonna end up happening with this little Yamaha? We're gonna make it into the little trail goat that we want. I think out of being angry at it, like, I don't wanna quit on it, so if it has to be custom fabrication, it will be. Hopefully some companies will come up with the right stuff, but we're gonna learn to love it. It's like when somebody gives you something you don't, but you know, we're gonna make it what we wanted it to be, regardless if there's no support yet for it. And I think it's gonna be great. think on, see, not next weekend, but the weekend after that, it's gonna go again, you know, I have to make something of that. I'm gonna put it against KRX, Can-Am's X3, some 37s. I'm gonna take the little trail goat and see what it can do against my friends' machines. And again, the trails we ride, you're gonna see the videos and you're gonna be like, why the hell do you got this? Well, because I have gotten machines like this, not this one, but you know, Kawasaki Teryx, Racer 800S, even the Rhino, and they did work amazing. So I know with patience and stuff, it will be everything that I want it to be. Definitely compared to, let's say, the Teryx 800, this being a more utility than obviously if I try to compare it to the KRX, you know, also we wanted it the bed, KRX don't have that. But let's say we compare this to the Teryx 800. The power on this is very nice. Put it to the floor, that 1000 kicks the tail right out. And the main reason for this video was to let people know kind of about the truth that is not spoken about this machine. Many, even owners of this machine, get confused, and that's why I end up buying it. People told me, yes, we have stuff, and that was not the case. Many will say it's like, oh, well, in my 2024, I do have portals, right? I have a lift bracket. Well, you already seen on the video, you can't put a lift bracket. It won't allow it. I mean, put it on, you're gonna max out CV and snap the axle. I just show you that. The problem is this machine looks exactly the same or close to it to the 850 2024. Yes, for that machine they do have lift brackets. For that machine they do have portal brackets and some other stuff. Same for the R-Max. People are like, oh well, it has the R-Max motor and powertrain, so everything will fit. No, yeah, I can put the same windshield in the back window as an R-Max, but no other machine but the 1000 2024 and that has this axle A-arm setup with the suspension. Totally different to everything else. So for the ones that try to comment, oh well, I can do it on mine. Now you're wrong. Sorry, but you are. I know by a fact, can't tell you how I got the information because I don't know if I'm supposed to have the information or not, but I heard from a person that works in there that they are working on a prototype for forward A-arms, and possibly there's a talk of making portals for these machines, because I think it uses the same spindles, outer CD axle as the 2017 YXE 1000 from Yamaha. So obviously the portals already exist just out of the 2017 YXE. What needs to happen is I need to build a bracket, a portal bracket for this kind of machine. So if Super 8 TV is listening, I'll pay you, even though it might be a prototype, but I will love to try forward A-arms or drop brackets, you know, for the portals. If you're working on something, you need somebody to test it. I'm the guy, trust me. I test everything. I will put it to its paces. Because I don't want to, let's say, buy a 2017 YXE portal and let's say fits everything in there. I go through the trouble of building the bracket, doing all this, and 4 months from now they release the parts, and I went through the whole process and I overexpand on making, instead of buying a full kit for cheaper, I had to get my own brake lines done, my own portal brackets done. It can get very pricey, very easy. At that, I'm probably gonna have to throw away the factory stuff and comes on the kit for the YXE. So that's why I'm kind of waiting on that, but that's what I heard, and they're working on prototype stuff. and I would love to get my hands on something, and I'll test it and tell you if it works or not. Look at that. Amazing. Small, nimble. I'm seeing over the hood. When I'm sitting back, I don't even see the hood at all. I'm staring at the bottom tires of my Jeep right now. Lean a little in there. Huge view. It's insane, the view on here. I drove it on a very muddy road on the way back from the breaking Imperial on the mountain with the snow. Nasty muddy road. This was clean. Love that part. That's what we purchased. This, you know, be little goat, go on the narrowest trails. You don't get dirty, and some people don't understand that, but we come from a Polaris Racers Iris 1, and first paddle you go through, you're just covering mud. It's just, you cranking that tire is here, and it's just spinning on four-wheel drive. It gets bad. This really, really good. Love all the little tab plugs that you have for the accessory switches. I already purchased quite a few electronic thingies. I'm gonna get the sound bar out of my Jeep and install it on here because that thing is too loud and I can't hear it anyways. The bed is amazing. Windshield's coming. It's gonna be good. The ergonomics, I like. You don't get tired, feels very sporty. A lot of people complain about this, and we ride on trails and you're really lean sometimes, and even though I feel it on here, it doesn't truly bother me as much. But I like it when I'm leaning on a trail. I don't even try to hold myself. I just lean on it and I'm like, hold me. And I thought everybody was saying how annoying this is. And I think it's because, you know, a YouTuber, you know, not gonna mention names, but big review YouTubers. Somebody says, oh, I don't like this, and the rest copy and copy and copy. And it's like a scratch vinyl disc, you know, it keeps repeating itself. No matter who is making the review, they'll say the same thing. Me, I actually like this. I thought I was going to just whack it off. Nope. I like that I'm leaning. I just have my support in there. Even if I'm turning too fast, boom, grab me, no problem. The other amazing part is going to be once we get the enclosure and we start using it for what we bought this thing for. You know, we'll leave. Let me see if I can go outside and film. It's pretty cloudy. You can't see anything. I live by a mountain range, and imagine taking this little thing. Yes, we can drive them on here. And I'll just go ahead and take these fully enclosed. I don't know if I can put a heater or not. I am sure it has, you know, water lines. I'll install a Inferno heater in case nobody makes a kit. I am sure nobody makes a kit for this damn thing. So yes, I will put a heater. It's gonna be so fun, little, nimble. Take it down on the street, go into the mountains, do the exploring. That is actually what we bought this for. Had the little camping gear in there. I'm gonna make a couple videos of doing kind of like a tiny little, let's call it overlander, if you will. I can take that and it has less space, but this has the bed. It's just different. This is loud, brutal, annoying. This is, even though people say, oh, this is super loud, it's quiet compared to other vehicles that I have. And for the ones wondering why that still say that and not a step forward construction, it's because I bought the track from that place, and as you know, there's a lot of tweakers on this damn age, and if it says a step forward construction, people will assume materials, tools, everything, right? So they start stealing stuff. As long as it says that on the side, I'm not promoting my business, but as long as it says that on the side, tweakers think that I only carry dirty mattresses and old furniture and stuff. Same reason why I don't wash it, because I keep, you know, other vehicles are always super clean and well taken care of. This, it's on purpose. Inside is very nice and organized. The inside of that's very pretty. You know, motorhomes always super clean and stuff. Both incredibly inside. But even the 73, it's clean. You think I'm kidding you? That's my dump truck. Look at that. The outside, you just keep it like that. Come inside. Yeah, God, people are gonna say, why every vehicle you have has a twisted T-box? Well, I'm sure you're gonna comment on that. That's okay. It's better for the algorithm, so talk your smack. Gonna learn to love it. Street Legal Kit comes today.